Hey, it's Storytelling Ron. I'm here to talk about paper miniatures for Dungeons and Dragons. This is for DMs. I do a very goofy, simple, cheap, quick access, not very crafty way of putting miniatures together, and I enjoy it. Players are fine with it. It's very easy, or I've sort of edited down to this form. I've gone through some variations and I'll show you some stuff and to show you what I do for miniatures, so you can see the different kinds. Let me just show you this one. So this is a little stockade fort for bugbears, and I threw this together. This is a Starbucks bag upside down. Realized I can make a quick and easy building, because I realized I wanted more, and this is the night of the game. And I made these walls. I drew them out and folded them. I figured out how to, these towers. I figured out how to do all that folding, paper folding. This is all just regular paper, and I glued them with, glue sticks. This is a barge, and they have a ballista, and they have ballistas here on the towers. And there's a bunch of goblins, boars, and bugbears. And I have variations of bugbears, tougher ones, bigger ones, clobbers. Oh, and these are wagons. That I drew out and folded, and then the goblins got in those, and they have an extra armor class, and they're doing their arrows. This is a barge, like I said, the characters with the ballista. Now, they weren't this close. I just staged this to show the different stuff and when we're about to play. And I mean, the main thing they did, which was cool, is they drew them out, because bugbears are stupid and so are goblins. Drew out a bunch of them and then attacked the rest. So that was a good night of it was long combat, but it was fun. So this is my earlier version of what I do for miniatures, and I drew these out myself. These are my own drawings, although that is not the case. I probably have more now, internet acquired images, which I'll show you, than I do original artwork. Just expediency. Let's see. This is another little close up of some characters. I drew these ones in an ogre. This is obviously from, one of the D&D things. Oh, this is my OTL guy. Drew this out. Okay, this one has a stand, and I went from these little gluey things, and and it's simple enough that I folded them and threw them in my notebook. But again, I don't really care for these now, and I got these stands. You can see this gazer, I believe, or whatever. It's not a gazer. It's it's the middle, kind of a lower end beholder. Yeah, I'm not good with naming conventions. I just can't. I don't have them on the tip of my tongue or in my head. They're somewhere in the But anyway, so they have little plastic stands I ordered, and I don't like those really, because you do definitely got to cut out the little paper piece there and then stick them in, and it's just too many little pieces to remember and have, and then set those up before the game, and whichever ones you're going to use or not use, and it's just so I don't really care for that. I've shown. Let me see. I'll just use this one because I know. Okay, so now what I use, and I really just like doing this, is just easy, is I cut them out I just print them on heavy stock paper, and just, I'll show you, I flip them. You'll see, I'll show you here on Photoshop. I do a black and white side and then a color side. Obviously, the color side is the front, and the black and white side. You definitely want the black and white side, because I did it without it, just being lazy. And even I was annoyed, because I was like, well, what's that model over there? I had to flip it around just to see. So I definitely have a black and white side for the rear, and then the color side for the front. And I like this. I'll just show you. I'm going to have to make the image bigger. Well, I guess you can just see fine. So this is my notebook of one of my homebrew campaigns. I'm planning on going more digital, so we'll see. But I still enjoy the notebook. But and this is, of course, all the stuff for the story, the background. But as you can see here, it's a small view, but whatever. See? This is what I love about doing these little paper minis, is that I can carry a ton of minis. So if I go anywhere, or just to my table, I have everything I need. This is a bunch of blights, and I bought this on Amazon. These folders, and I've got all kinds of stuff. I'll show them on the internet or the thing. But here's a big tree one. Now this is I acquired this image off of the internet. It's a big tree. Let me hope you can see. It's just cut out. That's all it is. I could cut little cleaner, you know, but it's just folded and it stands just fine. Prints on my printer quickly, easily. Info. So those are those little towers I made. This is out of regular paper. It's the Bugbear fort. I don't need to pull those out really, but they're just paper. I just figured out a way to fold it. I don't really care for the paper anymore, so I might redo those if I need them. Well, so here's some characters. This is the player characters on their little sheet with their little NPCs and stuff that help them. Some of them are older, like I still got the stands in there, but I'm definitely transitioning over to just the cardstock and folding them. But one of them has a little gold dragon, yeah, kind of high fantasy-ish in a sense. So this is a griffin with the riders, NPC, and this is a Games Workshop. And you know, I didn't do black and white for this because it's just an epic and it's kind of on the side. It's sideways more. I play it more like a sideways, plop it down. But when I brought this out, it's like they finally get to meet the Duke, you know, with this griffin. Well, here's the barge. This is just paper, but I made a barge that they're in the swamp. Am I in the camera? Okay, it's paper. But they definitely use this a lot when they go along the swamp area. But anyway, like I said, I have a bunch of giants and ogres here. I've got lizards and lizard folk and little dragons. There's my bugbears. I think these are all still the paper ones. Some undead, which I just used recently, and some extra stuff. Monsters. See, I'm going to use those at some point. But see, so I have it. So this is really like all I need, and I like the paper ones. They're very handy. And I'm not, obviously you can see I don't use little stands or anything fancy because I'm not, you know, I guess where I like to spend most of my time is writing and creating stuff. And then I like to just put stuff together. Now, obviously this is acquired artwork, so I ain't selling it. It's just for my own use. I got it off the internet. A lot of the artwork, I really like these fire newts, whoever did them. I don't know who, but I just did a search, you know, I just Brave images or Google images and just searched and found stuff, and then whatever I found I liked. So let me show you my process of how I do it. I'm not going to share this folder with anyone because that's not cool. But I have a ton of stuff now. As you can see here, I have all these folders in my Photoshop with all these different all my different sets. So let's just go with the undead real quick to show you. So this is let me just hide this layer. So I even have folders within folders. So this is my undead. Obviously, this is Games Workshop. Here I have spent, from 5,000 to 10,000 easily on Games Workshop. So I don't feel guilty about, finding their artwork online and then using it like this. Okay, I'm going to just show you this image of one of their armies that I have. Let me pause this and find it real quick. I'm recording. So look, this is one of my armies I used to have for Warhammer 40K. Okay, it was an Imperial Guard before they changed the name to Astra Military and whatever. This is okay. So I've put money into, and this is only one of the armies I had. I even had the Tyranids, I had the Orcs, and I had Space Marines. Not as big as this, but probably about like this big. I was kind of nuts. Anyway, I've eBayed all that off because I'm just trying to, I'm trying to get my life a little more in control. Look at that, huh? Boom. Boom. Okay, so this is not about this. But anyway, yeah, I love tanks. Just looking at that. Okay, so let me get back to my miniatures here. Okay, so this is obviously the undead ghosts from Lord of the Rings, their Lord of the Rings that Games Workshop does. I love their art. Like I said, I love their miniatures. Love their art direction. They're actually my favorite. So what I did is I acquired their images, and let me actually show you how I generally, so I don't know if you're familiar with Photoshop. I'll just kind of say a few things. If you hit, obviously you're going to have a ton of layers with different things if you do this or GIMP. And if you have the move button and you hit control, you can select the different layers and pick that layer. So, visually, if you hit control, it'll pick the layer that you're looking for. Control, and then click on the art. What I do, obviously, is I get their group shots or wherever I find on the internet. And I used to have all kinds of White Dwarf magazines with their stuff. I really wish there was, maybe I should look, like an archival website with all those amazing images of their miniatures, even from years past, because they have a ton of great stuff. And I know they're changing like Warhammer the Fantasy into Age of Sigmar or something, and they're getting really high fantasy. But I certainly miss like the older. I think that these are recent though, but I miss like the older stuff they used to have. They had some great stuff. And obviously, miniatures are the best way to go, right? They're the pinnacle. But some people in their life, I'm 50, logistics and things that are going on with their life, they got to kind of bring it down a little. But I certainly love Warhammer 40K or Warhammer and Games Workshop miniatures, the fantasy for this. So I would just cut them out, like draw them out, and I would try to get as many as I could. And you can still get this guy too, because even though this guy's got a big horn, I could just cut this out, and then I'll stamp color add in here. Same with this little blade here. I could probably just quickly fix that up and probably get all of these. I haven't needed them yet though. So that's kind of what I would do there, and then make them the right size. Obviously, an inch is 5 feet, so I just kind of eye it from there, and make the size I want. Probably a little bit larger. Probably everyone is on average 6 to 7 feet, but just because I just want to see the miniatures. So that's I'll just show you what I got. I love these as whites, undead, maybe a ghost, specters, whatever. I'm using these right now. Let's see okay, so I'll take the undead. That's all I've got for that right now. Let me go with Beholder. So I got this on Beholder Zombie. Now these are obviously the D&D ones, the artwork. I might be using those soon. Blight Siege they just had a big battle with these blight things, and so what I did is, because they were getting up higher level, I don't really have them deal with fighting individual twig blights or needle blights. I actually sort of homebrew my own groupings, and what I do is I will add hit points. Like, this is literally the unit they're going to fight, this piece. I should explain that in another video, but basically I add more hit points. I give them like 3 attacks, and a little more damage, and maybe one extra sort of special attack, like a grapple. These guys here, so these are the war Games Workshop ghouls, but I use them for the blights, the twig blights attacking, or I can use them for ghouls, and I use them as a group, a little horde attacking, and they'll go up against 2 characters or 1 character, and they'll have because they're in a grouping, I'll give them extra bunch of hit points, so they're like a challenge rating 4 or whatever it is. They'll get like 3 attacks, maybe a little extra something there. They'll get like an extra sneak attack or advantage or grapple, something. I always give them something a little extra to these groupings that they're surrounding the player character, so they'll have an extra something, whatever it is. These trees were cool. I did the evil trees, and they were throwing. It was in a swamp, so they were throwing mud balls at them, over the fortress. And what was cool is they did a lot of damage, but they also stuck them. So you had to do a dex or strength save to resist getting stuck, in the mud. And this is the coven of witches that were summoning them, and they each had their. What's cool is I made them each have a power. Like, she had a power to. What was her power? I forget what her power was. Some sort of death glare. But they also had a weakness. And when the player characters discover their weaknesses, then that hurt. Like, they would just blind this eye here with like a light, and then that would weaken her. But she had like a death glare that was really powerful, so they had to quickly shine fire or light on the eye, and then she was blinded. And then she had a charm, so she could charm someone and bring them and have them follow her. But her weakness was she didn't know if she actually charmed them or not. So if the person resisted, they would pretend they were charmed, come up, and then defeat her. Stop it. That kind of stuff was fun. Hers was, I forgot, but whatever. Okay, so that's not what this is about. So that's these guys. This was a lot of fun. I had oh. And I also have these guys. So I had some bigger dudes as well. These are kind of like shambling mound variations. I think this was an ogre blight. He's sort of an ogre that got infected by a blight and became one of the servants. This is from a different thing. I'll show that later. I'm gonna do a review on that. So this is my original bugbears I drew. I used to use squares, and tape them back, and with the base, but I don't like doing that anymore. I'm gonna take these out eventually, and then just fold them with the cardstock, and that's it. This is a big dude. Little dudes with shields, clobber guys, tougher dudes. Bullywug. So this one's going to be fun when I do this. I really like this style. I really like finding miniatures that have it, and I like them being sort of similar, like variations on the same thing. And this is obviously going to be a large group. I'm going to use it as one, CR challenge rating 6, that the whole group together kind of thing. And I also have this as like a challenge rating 4 or whatever. The whole group of these are together as one unit. Now, when they get to half hit points, I then take away some of their abilities, and if they get lower, I generally have them like disperse and run because they get defeated. And then these are individual ones. Then this is a tough, guy. This is a shamany leader guy. He's gonna have some toady, froggy, scary dudes, some swamp trolls. I like this dude. I found this. This is obviously some. I don't know what it is. I just found it on the internet. And then this is another tough troll of some kind, or So these are all going to be together, like some sort of realm. Now, this is the original. This is some D&D and other stuff I found, which I was going to use, but then I found the other ones. But so I don't really care. I mean, it's good artwork, really good artwork. But just as you can see, the style, I just like the sort of it all fits together kind of style of this. And here's the thing too, it's going to be easy. The day of we play, I'm going to print this out and have it near me. And then when we're ready, I'll probably have to cut them out. But even this is time consuming. Just this simple, goofy, cut this out, fold it, cut around, get it nice, right there. To me, that's enough time. Cause then I got to do all of these, So I can't imagine the people that really get crafty with their paper minis and do all the stands and stuff. When I was like, yeah, I'm just going to do this. I'm good. Got some demons. These were part of the blight thing. This is a priest blight. I just found him online. That priest blight, and then he summons his demon dude. That was fun. Dragons. So this is my guard drake. I drew this dude myself, and then I just found this. I haven't done anything with that yet. Let me see other dragons. Okay, that's my little black wormling drake there. This is my other black dragon, young one. I drew that one. So I don't have because it's sideways. I generally have the same color because you can tell that they're facing which way they're facing. Domestic beasts. What's this? Oh, this is underneath. Let me just move this. This is underneath my dragons, which is not necessary. Missing some. Okay. Oh, so I just had some boars in there, which come in handy for bugbears and goblins and things like that. And again, when I print these out again, if I ever use them again, I'll take these out and just use that. Okay. I haven't done anything with this. This is some old thing I did on DM's Guild, an Ettercap layer type of thing, and I drew these spiders out, but I haven't made these into minis. Okay, I have a mess of trolls and giants and ogres that I love, and I have used these. I don't know why it's a mess right now, but I do have a bunch of these printed out and I'm using them. I haven't done anything with that. Here's a giant here. So yeah, this is the giants. I drew this giant. Let's see. Is he gonna come up to the front? Come up to the front, buddy. Yeah, there's my giant I drew. So I do like drawing stuff. It's just, again, time consuming, and so as you can see here, I found these miniatures. I really like these miniatures, and I may try to use these. I like the style of them. Love the colors. I hope they don't get mad at me, but I mean, just home use. Found it on the internet. That's all I did. I do buy a lot of stuff. Okay, just can't buy everything. Just telling you that right now. If you put it on the internet, just like even my stuff. So, oh yeah, this one's kind of cool. What else you got here? Okay, I haven't, I'm just looking around for stuff. This is my, I drew this guy. He's a swamp creature. And I laid this one flat. It's not folded or anything. I just lay it flat on the ground. Stone piece. Oh, I drew these guys. There's a gargoyle and a Galeb Dur, Stone Guardian. Did that for an adventure. NPCs. So I found, a bunch of cool NPCs. Found these 2 minute. This is a lot of, I try to find these for Tomb of Annihilation too. The black dudes for Chultans or whatever. That's cool though. To that one, NPCs, props. Okay, so this is this is my little fortress drawings I was doing to make the little, and I was trying to figure out how to fold them out, how they would work. Oops. There's a tower. I figured out, I got to glue this to this. That's a wall. Okay, that turned into that eventually. I don't know where the rest of those are. Or I think that's really all I had for that. This is just me checking out some group testing things. Ghouls. My orcs. Okay, these I drew myself. Kind of goofy. I'm not too happy with these orcs. So, maybe one day I'll draw some really cool ones. I do like this one and these ones, but they're older. I drew them a long time ago, so the colors are kind of weaker. And these I drew recently, or not recently, but probably within the last year or two. Not really into those. Okay. But I'm just showing you what I've done. Though this is the cart or wagon I drew out and folded, and it had the goblins in it. And that was kind of cool because it turns it into like a tough unit. So these are goblins I drew out, made models for these. This is a little shaman dude, archers. And again, I'm gonna, if I print these out again, I'm definitely gonna take out these squares and just have them folded over. It's nice and easy. I don't like having the same ones like that, but I'm not going to draw a bunch, and I can see why others don't either, but it's much better when you do, and really should put effort into that, at least having variations. I did try to do, 2 different archers and then 2 different goblins, but I really like variation. And even slight, it doesn't even have to be a lot, just enough. What is this? Oh, I was making militias, so they only had a battle. This is, of course, Warhammer Fantasy, and that I use them for militia. Some characters. Oh, there's one. I think I just have them all hidden. But anyway, so you can see what I do. Oh, let me show you real quick. I think I'll do it with the undead dude. How I quickly make these. This will be the last thing I show you, so you can see. So this guy right here, I just select him with Control Point. How to quickly kind of create so obviously you're going to grab the models, or the images rather, and separate them out, and then you have this, right? And you size it. So it's a little time consuming to do all this. But what I did here is I recorded an action so that I wouldn't have to watch. I'll just show you real quick. If that's no. Okay. No. Oh, see, I had undo. Okay. This procedure, I realized I used to do it with copy paste. It would copy paste, then flip, and blah blah blah. I took that out. The move and copy this part. I took that part out because there were different size ones. For instance, if I would have recorded that and then did all the rest to this one, it would have obviously copied it and merged it down to here. So you have to do the one step where you get it right where you want it, the right place, and then hit play. I have this normal mini set up. It's going to go run through these procedures. Boing. See, so it did all of these. It flipped it, desaturated, made it a little brighter, so not so dark, and then merged it down to this one. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that kind of thing, but I found it tedious to do all of these procedures every time I did a mini. So I recorded, and the way you do that, I guess you can make, like, here, I'll make a new one. Action. Okay, so it's going to record right now, which I'm not ready to, so stop. But you can make, it's kind of like layers. You can make a layer and then you can create, I'm sure you guys know how to do this, but whatever. I'll just do one real quick. Let me just do this one again. Take this out. Okay, so I have this selected. What I want, I'm going to go ahead and do the whole thing. Well, no, okay. I don't know what I'm saying. So in order to make a copy, you got to hold Control and Alt, and then you see the little double icons there, and you move it up. See, it makes a quick little copy. There you go. All right, I'm not recording that yet. Now, for this action here, I can name it, Gooby. I'm going to basically do all this. All right, I'm going to record it. Start recording. Boom. What's the first one? Flip current layer. Okay, so I know I have that selected, so I'm going to transform, flip vertical. All right, see, it's recorded it. I'm going to desaturate it. Desaturate. Boom. Okay, recorded it. Then I'm going to, like there, 50, see, boom, recorded it. Okay. Then I'm going to merge down. I'm sure you probably, there's a merge here. Merge. Damn, boom. That's it. Stop. Okay, so as you can see, I now have this procedure. So every time I create one of these, make a copy of it and move it up, place it right where I want it, or right where I want it. Then I hit Gooby, hit play, and it'll quickly do all the rest. That's how you do save actions. I'm gonna trash this one because I already have it up here. And I have a sideways one as well for when I do, like the dragons or whatever. Get rid of that. But I still have that. See, so that's how I make my miniatures. That's how I have a lot of fun throwing down with this stuff, and I just have all the miniatures I want in my notebook. Very handy. I'll be building more. I'll be adding more and more as I go, depending on what's next. And I do have some for the next session or whatever. And I'm using Photoshop. I'm sure you can do this in GIMP as well, since GIMP is a freeware version. The only reason I gave up on GIMP and went to Photoshop is the subtle brush feel. Photoshop was way better, but everything else GIMP seems to have quite a bit, and that's a free, Photoshop program. Okay, I hope that's been helpful and gets you ideas of how you can quickly get what you want and making paper minis. And I know this is maybe uncool because I acquire a lot of images off the internet, but I'm just doing it for home use, and I've put tons of money into it, into you guys and products. So chill. Anyway, but hope you enjoy this video, and hope it's been helpful, especially to you new DMs, just so that you can have something to use for your little minis if you want to move up from just little drawings and stuff. Anyway, that's it. All right.